It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my co-host here with me. Hi, ladies.
Yo.
YK in the building.
Good morning. Yo.
John, Jumoke plan is pink and black today.
Oh, really? Oh, mine is pink and
hers is pink and blue.
Oh, okay. Look at what's back.
I must mention this. I went to buy ice cream on Saturday. I know that I shouldn't be eating ice cream, but well, you only live once. The girls there recognized me and sent their greetings, that they're going to listen for them to hear that I hailed them.
Thank you.
So, ladies, please hail them.
Hello.
Hi, ice cream ladies.
Anyways, how you doing, madam?
Mo,
Yes.
yesterday I know that there is a power of saying what you want. I closed at 10:30 yesterday, and
PM?
Wow. And I got home and noticed that my key were nowhere. I could not find my key. Was nowhere to be found. So I just thought about it that the vehicle that normally would bring me home has gone. So I was stranded. I just said to me and myself, I said, God, I'm going downstairs. I don't take free rides, naturally, but I just need a way to get to the office and something very comfortable. A friend I've not seen in 2 years just drove past in front of me and said, at 10:30, I noticed that this face looks like Esther. And gave me a ride to the office to pick my key and took me back home.
How
I'm like,
nice.
And I'm like,
That's sweet.
this is so...
Is he a guy?
Mo.
Please.
At 10:30, which woman will be driving around?
So
Jumoke
this
may
guy.
be driving around,
You know.
based on the kind of work I do.
Yeah.
I said carelessly. I didn't say...
So this is guy 2
Because-
now. The guy one that is around, and the other guy 2 that just picked it up at night.
Okay.
Now watching you in 3D. Auntie,
I have eyes on you.
How
I
you
like
doing?
your jacket this morning, Mariah.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
You haven't worn it in a very long time.
Oh, gosh.
So we're having our business meeting as usual today, and I'm encouraged to continue to do these meetings because a lady came to me last week. She had attended one of our meetings on Saturday, and she just came on Tuesday to share her testimony, how in a few days her life has changed, her eyes are open, and I thank God. I'm the first one to criticize the government, on that they're not doing their part, but I'm happy and I feel fulfilled that I'm now doing my part, empowering people, to start their own businesses.
Well,
We're
nice.
having a meeting today.
Fantastic.
If you're interested, you can come.
I am.
Okay.
Right.
They are both workers. They can't come.
Yes, so we have our guys in the office.
They just lose their jobs.
Don't say let's take. Give us gist.
Me, I don't have any gist though. Today is what? Tuesday, right?
Uh-huh.
The kids are home now.
You don't know?
She doesn't know.
Okay. The kids are home, so it's crazy. Their cousins are around. The whole house is loud.
We like
Everybody's
that.
playing. Yes,
We like that.
It's just very noisy in my house right now.
That's a good thing.
I can imagine.
You know what YK was alluding to? We always say that YK, that Agbatinde, she always forgets things. So because you're asking, is today Tuesday, she wants to
YK.
hap on it. That, she Agbatinde
So
for
it will
one.
soon catch Jumoke now. You watch it.
Let's take
It has
a
even
break.
started catching her because I noticed that she takes pictures of the papers to the region. She cannot remember again. He's coming.
No,
Let's
now
take a
there are
break.
sometimes you just have to do that.
It's
When we come
coming.
back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're going to start with the punch. Pressure mounts on PDP to sanction sheriff, others. Fani Kayode Bode Judge gone for party chairmanship. Jonathan McAfee, others vow to rebuild ex-ruling party. Picture here of the residents at the scene of a suicide attack in Maiduguri. Integrity Group recants, says fraud petition against Amici is false. Fayose floats presidential campaign for 2019. I covered my husband's face with pillow while assassins stabbed him to death, says wife. Buhari's minister visits McAfee in PDP court headquarters. Ogunfather butcher's son abandons him in bush. Medview fails to airlift stranded London-bound passengers. Minister suspends 8 more NHIS top officials, and HMO tackles Yusuf. WASI results out, 59% pass maths and English. Terrorism became bigger under Jonathan, presidency replies Dasuki. Two human angles.
Let me quickly take the first one of Favor Oyedinro, who is an 11-year-old boy and was staying with his father in Ogun State. His father lured him into the bush, stabbed him. Favor butchered him well, you know, stabbed him in the neck. Favor had to pretend that he was dead, and the father abandoned him in the bush. He crawled out, and a good Samaritan took him to the Federal Medical Center, you know, where he was receiving treatment.
Yeah, and he was living with the father and the stepmother and their two children, or her two children.
Such a sad story. I'm happy that he's still alive. He's stable. He's in hospital, but the report didn't say anything about his father being arrested yet. So
no, I guess the police said they've not. The DPO said he's not.
You haven't heard the story.
About it.
The other human angle.
Yeah. Madam Salahuddin, that's her husband's name, Winga Salahuddin, thereabouts. She said she covered her husband's mouth while, as in, she pressed him, suffocated him, and someone else stabbed him, and they just finished, you know, getting familiar with each other when it happened.
She was mad at her husband.
She was just mad at him.
They just finished making love.
They have 3 children.
Not getting familiar.
Okay. She didn't want to say that on breakfast.
They were already familiar. They lived together.
YK, you understand what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
But our audience might not.
Okay, the point is that the guy is dead.
Yes, and the fact that she was angry because he had a child out of wedlock.
Hey.
Is that how bad you can...
Similar to what YK has sent us. Don't worry, we'll talk about it on Thursday.
It's really terrible.
Moving on very quickly to The Nation. 18 senators under probe for alleged 367.5 billion naira fraud. Picture here of the victims. Calabar fire death toll now 11. That's the explosion that happened in Calabar. States gets another Paris Club refund. And WAEC withholds over 214,000 results. Right.
I have an issue with this states getting a refund. In those states today, for the past since Friday till now, pensioners have been protesting the non-payment of their gratuities and their pension. And these are states that have gotten tranche from the Paris Club refund. And if you're getting more, who are those people that are checkmating this government to be sure that this money is, according to the papers, that they got the money because President Buhari wants to be a relief for payment of salaries, pensioners and gratuities and, you know, arrears like that. We should actually think that our pensioners, they are part of our society. Right. They should be taken care of. These are all people that have given their lives to the society.
Linking it quickly to the major headline, 18 senators are under probe for alleged 367.5 billion naira fraud. Only 7 of them are under trial. 11 of them are being investigated. 8 of them are linked to Paris Club refund, you know, where 8 governors have been found culpable, you know, for fraudulent activities around that.
Yeah.
Okay, don't forget, some of them still collect pensions, even as senators and as governors.
Yes, now.
Moving on now to unhealthy fight. That's on Daily Sun. Health Minister battles with NHIS boss, gets messier as 6 GMs, others are suspended. Female suicide bomber kills 8 in Maiduguri Mosque. Anambra Guba, APC sells forms, 5.5 million naira. May pick candidate August 12. 2019, Fayoshe launches presidential campaign. Creative industry, FG announces $1 million venture capital. And $17.5 million debt, banks gets court's nod to seize Aluko Omokori's assets. Lots of stories. There's the NHIS who have recently suspended 6 additional just so that they can make way for the investigations, which is ongoing. And we'll see how Boko Haram.
What's his name? The executive, the suspended Yusuf, has said the minister doesn't have the right to suspend him.
They've appointed police officers to guard the NHIS office to ensure
that he doesn't come to the office.
He actually wrote a letter to the minister.
Who has the creative story?
Jumake has the creative story. So in a 2-day...
I have the Fayoshe story.
In a 2-day conference that happened in Lagos, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, was saying that the federal government and the media think tank are coming together to fund the creative industry with the $1 million
venture capital.
Yeah, venture capital, and he was saying that they only need 20 people to drop $50,000 each, that 5 people have already volunteered that they were going to drop this money. And Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, representing the acting president, was saying that the federal government is also willing to give tax relief, you know, for people who are ready to invest in this industry. Now, this is continuation of, you know, what our hot topic yesterday. This is what I wanted to hear the minister say, rather than saying, when you give me money and low interest loans to fund my industry, of course I'm not going to be going to South Africa or any other country that I'm not.
Where will I see $15,000 to invest?
It's not you that are looking for.
He has not named the 5 people.
Right, it's not you. You that are please.
I'm struggling. I'm looking for tax rebates.
Okay, Boko Haram, they'll come to fire.
We should not really just forget that people are dying, because 1 or 2 people will die in the United States and it will be everywhere. So
that's true.
They said 8, but yesterday evening it rose to 12. And yesterday, even the Borno State NEMA people, that's SEMA, when they were the National Emergency Management Agency, when they were there to help out people, that they started beating them and fighting them, that we don't want people to come and save us when things like this happen. Stop making it happen.
Moving on to Vanguard.
Don't worry, fire stories, you know that.
7 trillion lost annually in nation's ports. The Senate, Dogara, summoned NPA officials as 282 ships vanished from ports in 6 years. Navy recovers 420 billion naira stolen crude in 2016. And 6.7 billion naira crude destroyed in illegal refineries. Honestly, I'm really tired of all these figures. Soldiers destroying our businesses in hunt for militants. Fayose launches presidential ambition on social media. WAEC releases WASI results with holds over 214,000 as 59% passes maths and English. Dasuki claims on Boko Haram says is false. Right.
Yes, Fayose has launched his political campaign on Facebook.
He says,
together we can make Nigeria work again.
But the way you're joking about this thing, these people with this their victory with the
Supreme Court,
no, but he's not with any party. He didn't launch it with any party yet.
He was there celebrating with PDP.
But the presidential campaign has no party attached to it.
I'm just saying that we shouldn't just make fun of them anymore.
No, but you remember,
they seem to be gaining momentum now.
But you remember that
victory.
he pulled down PDP flag from Ekiti State. But Governor Fayose, I mean, you are very, qualified to run. Let's just see how many people believe in you.
The APC, Taiwo, Olatubo says he dismissed it, saying after he had announced that he wanted to recontest in the governorship,
he's now talking about presidency. He must be a confused man.
That's why he'll be confused. But moving on to this thing.
He will be confused into the presidency. Things
happen in Nigeria. Donald Trump, remember Donald Trump? Nobody believed that Donald Trump could enter our presidency.
But we don't need that.
All right. This day, our final paper. So keep laughing. Next thing, just in the villa.
Some of our friends will be very happy.
Finally, this day, power of confirmation. Senate unfazed by presidency's decision to head to Supreme Court. Court adjourns FG's suit against Omokore Aluko over $1.7 billion debt to September 29th. I think somewhat contradicting what I read in the other paper, but let's move on. Makarafi, only a miracle can stop PDP from retaking power in 2019. Inflation falls for 5th straight month into 16.1%. So we'll see. PDP is trending now, so we'll see what happens.
But I just want to say to our leaders that we should stop focusing on another tenure when we have a government to run. Because if we keep doing that, government will be on a standstill, and we cannot continue as Nigerians like this.
And it's interesting why everybody's just focused on party.
I mean,
for us, for the purpose of the people, we could care less with
party. If we start having independent candidates, I can actually go for.
We want people with ideologies, people who have that track record, who can come up and say, yes, we come talk to us, and we believe they have a plan for us. So not all this party, APC, PDP, we could care less, really.
As we run off, inflation has stayed at 16%. It fell from 18 to 16. We're happy about, but prices of food hasn't dropped in the market.
Well, let's move on. That's all we can take on this. When we come back, it's Tuesday. 2 women die in prophetess's house during delivery. And later, we'll discuss gonorrhea becoming untreatable. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. 2 women have been reportedly, have died actually after delivering the babies at a prayer house. Reports has it that the death was due to complications they suffered after delivery. The deceased, who received antenatal care in the primary health facilities in the community, chose to visit the residence of a prophetess to deliver their babies. It was alleged that the prophetess usually preached against her members going to the government health facilities, that they are used by witches and wizards. How long would we continue to allow religious leaders mislead or deter us from doing what is right? It's your view. Call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Now, we might not have all the details of the story. This is based on the reports that we read, but there are always 2 sides of every story. But I think the crux of this conversation should be the fact that Nigerians are generally gullible. They seem to believe the religious bodies, or when somebody tells them, religious leaders. Yeah. So that's really the crux of our conversation, that why would you do antenatal in the proper healthcare facility and then go for delivery? Why must you always invoke this issue of witches, wizards, trying to, I mean, we still talk about this, that would you tell somebody you're pregnant? These issues are real. So that's really what I want to hear your views on your thoughts. Who wants to go first on this? Okay.
So I wanted to mention the name of the 2 women, Violet Mbala Eko and Ellen Isieg. And the name of the prophetess is Prophetess Eka Maria. Now, you know, Nigerians were very religious, and a lot of our religiosity is based on poverty. So we're looking for miracles because, I mean, if your salary is 50,000, you really need a miracle to live a good life. You know, so these 2 women had been going to the Federal Medical Center for their antenatal. I do not know whether it was financial reasons that made them go to this prophetess when she claimed, you know, that, don't go to hospital, they are filled with witches and wizards, this and that. And then they now went to deliver their babies in her house and had complications. It was at that time she was now asking for them to be transferred to clinics. Anyways, these 2 ladies died, you know, during childbirth. Very, very unnecessary death, because it is God who gives doctors the knowledge. My gynecologist always says to me that, birth attendants can take delivery of any child. They only need him when there's a complication. That's why we ask women to go to hospitals. Before, our great-grandmothers used to deliver kids at home. And when the baby dies, they'll say, Abiku. Right. Because they did not have the expertise.
That's the thing. That's the same mentality, because our forefathers, our grandparents did it themselves. So it's like, what's the big deal? My own mother was born in the house. But a lot of those
babies died in those days.
Let's not just restrict it to this story alone, but the fact that our religious leaders, don't forget that there was a time that a man slept with a 6-month-old baby and said that he got that from a religious leader. First of all, we should ask ourselves, do we follow people blindly?
Yes, we do.
If you're a Christian, you have a Bible. If you're a Muslim, you have a Quran. Why don't you go back and look at what people are telling you? How true is it? It just brings to the fact that we Nigerians, we choose sometimes to just listen to what someone says and just move on with it. We don't care. Yeah. Even when you go to a doctor, you get given a prescription, I expect you to read about it to know what you are actually doing. True. So it is ridiculous to tell.
But even in the Ifa piece also, they do the same thing.
Even the said woman said that she actually employs, when there are complications sometimes, she brings in nurses to help her. And those people she calls nurses are just community health workers. So what do they know?
Why didn't they even alert the police?
I was going to say, it's not even just with pregnancy. A lot of people will be sick and they will say, oh, they will have serious diseases like cancer or AIDS, and
they say don't go to the hospital.
They will say don't go to the hospital, we will treat you. It's
Holy
from that
water,
treatment,
anointing oil,
that you will die. And they will say, oh, it was your time. Hey, you know? So I think that, you see, you have to remember that religion is the aphrodisiac of the poor.
Very true.
It is poor people who get what do you mean?
Religious.
No, not religious. Who get overwhelmed. Not overwhelmed. That's not the right word.
I don't use bamboozle, but I'm trying to find a way, another word.
Yeah, like bamboozle is even a better word into this kind of thinking. It's true, because it's cheaper for them to even go to the pastor, where the hospital will take 50,000.
The pastor will only take 5,000.
The prophetess will take 5 or 10.
Yes.
So, and the prophetess, and they have believed, and they believe. So it is now for these prophetesses and the pastors to have the fear of God.
Or to be the one to start advocating that people shouldn't come to them,
exactly.
go to the hospitals. Because
that's
that
why
one,
I say, have the fear of God.
So
that's
that's
God that you are worshiping. Have the fear.
That's if they are worshiping God.
That's one of the reasons why we're having this conversation, because we need to continue to drill into the minds of people that, listen, even though the people might be gullible, might totally believe, once they come to you, send them to the hospital, or even the health workers or the nurses who are helping these prophetesses, who are helping the prophetess.
Okay.
Those health workers should have been able to report the cases to the doctor or even to the police that, listen, this woman is trying to deliver babies illegally.
At home. Mariah, now you're talking about the person who it is their business to profiteer from the gullibility and ignorance of some people to now have a conscience. What are you saying?
Not all of them are there. Not all of them are like that. Not all.
I'm still going to hint on
this lady who is saying do not go to a hospital. Is she a qualified doctor, gynecologist, or
midwife?
She has a calling.
Because midwives can actually deliver.
Right.
Yes.
Let me take this call from Chidi. Chidi, are you there?
Yeah. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jumoke, and YK, I admire your contributions. The problem is that women generally are church fanatics. I mean, sorry, with due respect. If you open up a church today, women will be the first to come and patronize you.
Very true.
How then you tell them you are performing miracles, they shouldn't go to hospital? Is that not arrant nonsense? Like Jumoke said, God gave the doctors the idea, the brain, to know what to do at a point in time. And somebody being a prophetess is sitting in the church. Does she have a hospital? No. Answer is no.
Does she have
is she a qualified matron or nurse or doctor? Answer is no.
Okay.
And the worst is,
Trudy, you're right. You're 100%. But see, the reasons, what are some of the things that fuels these activities? The fact that, for example, somebody goes to the hospital and he has complications and they don't have money and they're having issues. They rush to the prophetess.
Yeah.
She delivers the child and everything's happy. So there's a testimony.
Yes.
Or maybe you have cancer. You have an issue and you've been trying to pay
testimony.
money and you rush to the hospital. They put anointing oil, they prayed and you are healed. These are testimonies. These are real life testimonies.
I agree.
When you hear these kind of stories, people are actually moved.
Excuse me.
To do the
Have
same.
you heard of cancer going into remission?
Yes,
like,
we know.
You can go to the hospital and your cancer, listen, and you go and
Okay,
the
I
doctor
know
treats
somebody
you.
that the cancer was dried up from the root. Till tomorrow, she doesn't have cancer.
YK,
And
it
it
was
was
by
what they call
prayer.
remission.
Miracles,
They
actually.
call it remission.
This one is not remission, YK. We know when cancer has dried up.
YK, I believe in miracles. But when the pastor performing a miracle
Don't
is
go
a,
to church.
is
Don't
a-
go to a hospital.
No, listen,
Go and
YK, this is what I wanted to happen.
miracleize yourself in the church.
When a
We
pastor
know.
who is conducting such a deliverance thingy will usually even ask you to go to the hospital to confirm. That's somebody who knows what they're doing. But then again, I wanted to happen what Mariah was saying, that when you go to the hospital and you cannot afford, which is why we come back to no health insurance. Even our president seeks health care outside of the country.
Let me take this call from Raphael. Raphael, then I come to you, Esther. Raphael, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
very
we can
clearly.
hear.
Go ahead, please.
You know, this issue is really important for ladies and for women in general. And it's really somehow this kind of thing is happening in this kind of generation we are. It's really annoying when I, listen to this story you guys were sharing this morning. How can a woman, even the prophetess, you should be able to know the kind of condition of this woman.
She's not a
Do you understand? When you know the condition of this woman, the next thing you're supposed to do is just say, okay, madam, you need to go to the clinic.
She actually did, but it was too late.
So I really don't understand in this generation, people still do things of the past.
Thank you very much, Raphael. For
I think that this generation, because things have gotten from bad to worse. Because when I was younger, I never heard anything like what I hear today. So this generation is because Nigeria has gotten worse over the years. I remember when I was growing up, Nigeria wasn't as bad as this. So that's the Jumoke used the right word. It's the gullibility of the poor. Right. So these pastors and prophetesses, they thrive on the gullibility of the poor. Now, it is now for this, I keep on saying it, these pastors and prophetesses should have the fear of God. If a woman starts to hemorrhage, there's something you can do. If you like, pray from now till next year. If they don't go to the right place, which is the hospital. So they should have the fear of God and send these people to the right place.
Yes. I would like to correct.
And then while they are in the hospital, pray for them.
Fantastic. Now you're speaking.
I would like to take us away from the fact that people are actually pointing fingers at women. The truth is, their husbands for these two stories were there. So they could have made that thing and say, you are not going to this place, you are her husband. That's
poverty.
In South Africa, when a pastor was using insecticide on people, there were men in those pictures. Yes. So let's leave women out of this. The gullibility of people, we have to walk out of it.
They say it's you people that carry their husbands, the husbands to the church.
You know that we have more women population, and really and truly, a neighbor of mine in my estate that decided to change his house to a church. The first person I saw there was a pregnant woman. May I read some?
Okay, we have to.
Omoyoma Emmanuel says, are the women illiterate? They could go to a health center for antenatal care. Why didn't they go for delivery in the health center? Onuke says, it is not true. Religion is the opium of the people. Know and worship your creator. Very private thing without any violence or
but it's important
persuasion.
that we don't discredit miracles happening. We know that those religious bodies, yes, miracles do happen because I have experienced it in my life and my lives of family and friends. So it happens, but what we're saying, that's fine. What we're saying, I didn't tell you I went to church for a miracle. I didn't tell you I went to church for a miracle. I'm just saying that miracles happen and I believe in miracles. So the point is,
miracle happens in my life.
That's fine. Miracles happen to Muslims too. Trust me, everybody experiences
miracle happens for everybody.
Oh, YK. Point is that please go to the hospitals, all right? Get treated. That's all we can take. When we come back, treating gonorrhea. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Yes, thanks for staying with us. So according to the World Health Organization, gonorrhea is a growing problem in many parts of the world. It has also been reported that the antibiotic resistance is making gonorrhea a sexually transmitted infection, much harder and sometimes impossible to treat. Experts have also warned it is only a matter of time before last resort antibiotics will be powerless to halt the spread of gonorrhea. How can we prevent this? Joining us on the show is an infection specialist, Dr. Joseph Onigbinde. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. So let's start from the scratch. What is gonorrhea exactly?
Yeah, gonorrhea is a bacterial infection by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Just like we have Neisseria meningitidis for meningitis. So it's a bacterial infection. And it's a sexually transmitted infection. There's so many of them. But gonorrhea happens to be one of the commonest. In fact, worldwide is the second commonest.
Does it happen to both sexes or just one sex?
Oh, both sexes.
Wow.
Both sexes. A man can contact it and give it to a woman. A lady can have it and transfer it to a man also when they have sexual contact.
They usually say that women can have gonorrhea for a long period of time
without
knowing.
Oh, yes. Oh,
but
yes.
a man in a few days would know.
Oh, yes.
Why?
Oh, yes. Because of the anatomic, morphology.
Okay.
When a woman has it, the place is wide. So even with the inflammation, she might not get symptoms on time. Right. Whereas a man, when he has it, the place is tighter. So most of the time they have, difficulty in maturating, and then they have pain, discharge. Also, women also have discharge. Okay. But sometimes it's easier for a man to present with symptoms than for a woman.
So what's happening right now that we heard that WHO, according to Muriah, that it's going out. It's gonorrhea is getting to the place where it's becoming untreatable.
Oh yes, it's not only gonorrhea actually. many infections are actually getting out of, they are getting resistant to treatment, antibiotics. And this is one of the reasons is that we are misusing antibiotics. Number one, the diagnoses are not good. Most of the time when somebody has an infection, he goes straight to the chemist. He doesn't even come to the doctor. He goes straight to the chemist and the chemist will say, I have gonorrhea. And he just say, okay, take this one. Sometimes they combine antibiotics. They give him tetracycline, give him augmentin, give him that. We have swallow. And then like that. Gonorrhea in particular, this Neisseria gonorrhea is very, very intelligent. It changes quickly. So it develops resistance easily. So that's why you have having such problems. So that's number one, diagnoses are not properly done, especially in this second world, or this is the third world we are now. Because the diagnosis tools are not as cheap.
Do you feel the information about gonorrhea is out there a lot? Because honestly, in fairness, I know of it, but I've not really, I'm not so familiar with this infection. It seems so far away. Because HIV we hear about it, cancer we hear about it, but gonorrhea is not really out there. Why is that? I mean, is it that people, it's not so common around the way?
No, it's very common. I think one of the reasons is that issue of stigmatization. You know, when you say, he has gonorrhea, you know, gonococcus now. You've heard of that. You say, you dash me gonococcus, or you dash me, so people will laugh at him and all that, or laugh at her. So that's why they tend to keep it. It's not that it's very, very common. It's more common than most infections, most STIs.
And somebody was telling me that if you go out to a public toilet, always pad the toilet properly to pee,
so you don't pick it.
So the water doesn't splatter.
You can't pick it from the toilet.
You can't pick it. Can it be transmitted from the toilet?
Well, it's not only gonorrhea that you can pick from toilets. There are toilet infections. There are so many things you can pick from toilets.
But gonorrhea is part of them.
Really, but it can.
So it's mostly sexual.
Yes. It's mostly sexual. That's gonorrhea.
What infections can you pick up from the toilet?
Oh, so many infections. Like all these staphylococcal infections and so on.
Chlamydia?
Yeah, every day, yes. Okay. You know, anywhere you have, even on your palms like this, if you can scrape your palms and put under microscope, you see a lot of bacteria. So
I want to go to solutions. A lot of people, you know, criticize me for always bringing the president being abroad into every situation. Now, the reason is a lot of people do not realize that him being there, our health sector will continually because, I mean, if his life depended on our health sector, it would improve. So what is the role of government in gonorrhea prevention and treatment in Nigeria?
It's not only gonorrhea prevention. I'm sorry to say, generally, Nigeria, we have not taken health issue as priority. We just go to the government hospital. I wouldn't blame all these people who say they won't go to government hospital. When you get there, many of them are empty clinics. You know, governments don't really, they have not really helped our health sector, actually. I'm sorry to say that. Then in the issue of gonorrhea and other sexually transmitted infections, HIV and so on, we need to think of prevention, then think of the diagnosis, and then treatment. Okay. So the prevention, where prevention will come in, like we have the ABC of HIV, for instance, also applies to gonorrhea. Okay. That's abstain. So abstain from all sorts of sexual exposures that are not good. All these small children just sleeping, because, and again, poverty is very important. It's very, very key. It plays a role.
Really?
When people are very poor.
Says that a lot, and I'm wondering why. Because they say that poor people have more sex. Is that true?
Oh, people, I'm sorry to say, if you meet a so-called sugar daddy, and you've not even eaten for maybe only once a year, and somebody's promising you give you 5,000 naira, you are ready to lie down even for a whole week. You understand me? You understand me? So this is
casual poverty. Sex, obviously.
Casual, yes. So we abstain, then
be
you have to be faithful to your wife, and then use condom. The issue of condom, very, very crucial.
I think it's also important for men, because women do not know if they catch this disease. So they can be carrying it for months and then sleep with and spread it around like the whole studio now. You know? Say, because
so if men know,
the men have to tell the women. Because I actually know of a woman who didn't know and she was spreading it like chocolates. And she didn't know. It was one man that told her, that called her and told her that, Madam,
you don't dash me off.
I want to ask.
Honestly, I remember this woman, and I, you know, I just used to look at her because, like you said, there is this stigma. So I used to look at her very in this. Oh my goodness.
I want to ask to enlighten our listeners on the difference between an STI and an STD.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Oh,
STI means sexually transmitted infection. Sexually transmitted disease.
So I was thinking maybe there would be a...
Okay, I have this burden because when the Ebola issue came about and meningitis, it seems as though the Center for Disease Control, nobody is really investing in that body, because the truth is that some of these cures or antibiotics could actually be found in our African soil. Sure. A lot of herbs that we use that people don't, that are uncertified. Yeah. It's like there's so much solution to the world's problem within Africa. Yeah. But yet nobody is really doing that study. So as a medical expert, I mean, what are your thoughts in this issue? We know government is not doing enough, but what can the private sector do to fund? Because here, the Minister of Information is saying that somebody is giving that $50,000 to invest in the creative industry. Can we get private sector to invest in the research?
I've always said it on your show, maybe on the news, that we need private-public partnership. Very true. You must not allow, we should not leave everything, the burden of health, on the government alone, especially when the government is not really seriously. Yes, but there are billionaires in Nigeria who would rather sponsor, who will be a billionaire, who will be so, you know, I'm not, but we have not taken health issues as very, very serious, and that is why people just die anyhow.
Let me take this call from Mushin. Lala, are you there? Oh, sorry, we lost that call. All right, so a woman has gonorrhea. What does she do? Well, how does she treat it?
First, she will not even know.
How will she know?
The man doesn't tell her.
Okay, once she's been diagnosed, what are the next steps? Now that antibiotics are obviously not working. Okay,
it's not that they're not working, but they are getting resistant. Sometimes you have to combine. I remember when I was just growing up, I'm still a small boy, when I was a smaller boy, with just one shot of penicillin injection, you can cure gonorrhea. But sometimes you have to, sometimes you have to combine drugs. Different ones. Yes.
Okay. Sir, there's Onuke, you have a
I have a call. Victory, are you there? Hello.
Hello, good morning, Mariah.
Morning, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to everyone in the studio.
Morning.
Your doctor, Mariah, the question is this: why is it that the medical team cannot organize themselves and challenge the government in aspects of this neglect of this federal hospital? They are always advocating for their welfare, but why can't they challenge the government on the aspect of improving on the medical facilities? If they are going to go on like let them challenge the government on medical. Can you imagine our president outside there? Because we are about to build an ultramodern hospital in Akwa Ibom. It's outside the country for medical care. So what's the essence of the whole thing?
All right, thank you very much.
You want to respond? He was saying that why can't medical personnel come together and challenge the government? For instance, the president is outside the country. We have a world-class hospital in Akwa Ibom. Why isn't he being treated there? Why aren't you, your association, protesting?
That's a very difficult question for me to answer.
Why?
But it's very, very valid.
Yes.
As well. It's not that our association is not protesting. Our association is protesting, but maybe the protest is not being heard. And then the power that be, they will suppress you. It is very, very sad, actually. You say the president's out there receiving treatment. It's a shame. It's
Big shame. People don't even realize that it's a shame.
It's a shame. It's a shame, and it doesn't speak well of our health system.
All our leaders, that's where they go.
Even, I'm sorry to say, even the Akwa Ibom that you say world-class hospital.
We were there. Myself.
We were there when the Akwa Ibom,
that
former Akwa Ibom
governor
got
when he had small brother, he rushed to London.
But the argument is that the president's doctors are outside the country.
Let them bring them in now.
Let's take a break.
To come and train people.
We'll take some phone calls and more tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So Esther had a question.
Yes, I've been in situations where I see people at the bus stops. One drug can cure everything: gonorrhea, syphilis, back pain, HIV/AIDS, everything.
They have the microphone.
Yes, and sometimes they don't even make it. You are just angry. So what would you tell people that buy things like that?
It's terrible. You see,
Are they really potent?
they do what?
The drugs.
Can I tell you one story? I saw one guy that was selling dental medicine. He was in herbal. Yes. If you see all his teeth were rotten.
He has the cure that has not cured.
You know, incidentally, one babalawo was rushed to our clinic. He has severe dental pain. He was crying. Babalawo, yes. Babalawo was crying. I said, but you have all these things. Why didn't you say, I said, doctor, this one is more than me. He said, and let us have alliance. The ones that I can handle and you can handle, send to me. The one that I can, I said, not with you.
So you see, these agbos work?
No, you see, when you say agbos, let me tell you something. Most of these are herbs. Actually have antibiotic property in them. Okay. They are very. In fact, I watched a documentary some 25 years ago in Europe, when some European doctors came to Cameroon to go and get some roots and herbs to extract very potent anti-cancer drugs from them. So they are actually very effective. But the problem with us is that we just can't put them together, and we don't know whether you should take only one cup or should just take it. I remember Dogoyaro, you know, when you say you have to drink until you sweat. So that.
Let me pause you for a second. I have a call from Calabar. I want to take that call. Morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling, Hussein. Go ahead, please.
No dosage.
Yes, I want to appreciate all of you there.
Thank you.
Very much. I listen to you every day, but sometimes I try calling you, I can't get you. My question is, I actually want to talk to Dr. Joseph. Thank you for coming on this program.
Thank you.
My concern is, within we come to realize that most of the drugs we use are sometimes not what we are expected to have for treatment. Because somehow most medical doctors want to prefer cheap medicine for their patients, cheap drugs for their patients, not actually going for what actually will give them the result. That's one of the problems we find out we try to see from our medical doctors. Most of them want to make profit. Want to make profit at all costs. Then again, we also have this problem of wanting to become everything. They want to become medical laboratory scientists. They want to do the job of a pharmacist. They want to do everything. Because you go to an hospital, the doctor wants to carry diagnosis or wrong diagnosis. I listened to him when he said my diagnosis. But when you go to hospital, the doctor can just rise up one day. Who has not even practiced for long, who does not even know the job very well, and will just get up and open an hospital and have one small room there.
Yeah. I understand you, Hussein. Thank you very much for your contribution. So, what's your question?
Can you summarize the questions? I read at least.
Today, likes summarizing.
Well, he was saying that doctors like to give the patients the cheap drugs. And then we have wrong diagnosis where doctors want to do everything. Is the pharmacist, is the lab tech person, he's the doctor. So invariably just saying that your industry practitioners are not the most honest.
What makes people go to their pastors, because a lot of the doctors are not honest.
Yeah.
Well, let me first of all clear. I'm not trying to defend doctors, but let me say, by and large, these people that you call doctors are not actually doctors. Many of them are charlatans. Many of them, I will tell you, some people didn't even go to medical school and they are doing operations. Some are male nurses. And but when because they are male, you think they are doctors. They call them doctors. A good doctor, a correct doctor, a well-trained doctor, will not just now. We have evidence-based medicine. You don't just treat until you know what you are treating. So you must carry a diagnosis. That's where the lab person comes in. And there are a lot of things that I need to talk about that lab also. But you have to, like gonorrhea, for instance, until you not only diagnose, but you have to say which drug. There's subsequent, you have
strain.
Yes, which drug will be effective. So when you culture and sensitivity, but a lot of us, when you just go to chemists or go to some clinics, cheap clinics, just give me some.
So wait, let me ask this question then. Why? Okay, I want you to tell our viewers, on what basis should we go to a pharmacist? Because when you have a headache, you're not feeling well, should your first point of call be the hospital or to the pharmacist to just give you the basic drugs? I mean, what would you advise?
It's very, very wrong to go to pharmacist. Pharmacy is not trained to make diagnosis. It's trained to dispense drugs. So your first point of contact is when you are sick, is go to doctor.
Gotcha. But what are the symptoms to look out for in gonorrhea?
Especially for men.
For men.
And women.
There are no symptoms in women, you didn't hear?
No, there are symptoms in women, but they are not so common. You have discharge, vaginal discharge. It can be color or sometimes colorless, but rarely colorless. Then for men, they have pains. Okay. And sometimes they want to...
So at such symptoms, go to your hospital immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
But women have natural discharge though?
Yes. Oh, that's different.
Okay,
natural discharge is different.
This one will be colored. That's what he said.
Like what
sometimes offensive
odor.
Yeah,
okay.
Odor, yeah.
Sweet.
So Sinjaye says universities should be encouraged to do medical research, which is big business if results are positive. Researches we can export. Emmanuel Raphael says, in a country where the leaders are too busy rubbing us blind, there seem to be no funds left for medical research.
I just wanted to say, you know, I know that some herbal drugs actually work. And I think it's just because a lot of the herbalists, the people that have died, they didn't pass on the knowledge. Because you are
a product.
Yes, I took agumu when I was 19 for malaria, and I haven't had malaria since.
Tosin Jai also says, researches should be done by the pharmaceutical companies who should be able to apply for grants from government, federal government or state. Now, if we do these researches, our herbal, we will then know their potency and dosage.
So is it agumu that helped her or just a miracle?
Yeah.
She doesn't have.
He believes in miracles.
I have a question.
I believe
here.
in miracles.
Sorry,
so you don't believe it was the agumu that killed me?
It's an orthodox Dr. YK. Come on.
No, but I want to hear him respond to that. Do you agree that agumu killed her?
No, see, of course. You see, I was just trying to tell you that in the case of Adansonia the guitarta, you know it, that neem. What do you call it now? Dogoyaro. Yes. It has some anti-malaria property.
Okay, we have to rush up. Esther wanted to say something very quick.
I had a tweet here, but it just escaped.
Yeah, and my daughter used it for vitiligo, Dogoyaro, and it worked. Neem leaves.
What's Dogoyaro? Is it the leaves, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming. I think we learned quite a bit from you.
Dr. Onigbinde.
Yes. Have a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.